Hamilton versus Button, the McLaren years. The 2010, 2011 and 2012 seasons saw the tantalising scenario of two modern British Formula One icons on the same team as both Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button raced for McLaren. This video will compare the two men, both then one-time world champions, for those 3 seasons. First though, let us look at how they ended up on the team, starting with Lewis. He joined F1 at the start of 2007 and had an outstanding first season with McLaren, pushing 2-time Formula One champion Alonso to his limits and almost achieving an unthinkable rookie title. His time to win came in 2008 during his second season with the team, so it was only natural that he would stay with McLaren. Jenson's move came after his 10th season in the sport and immediately after he won his driver's title with Brawn GP, which later became the Mercedes-AMG Formula One team. Both drivers are obviously great talents, and the idea of them being on the same team was a mouth-watering prospect. McLaren's results were respectable during this period of Red Bull dominance, finishing second to the team in the constructors' standings in 2010 and 2011, and third behind Red Bull and Ferrari in 2012. But this video is not about the team's performances, it is about those of Hamilton and Button as competitors. McLaren revealed the MP425 car, powered by a Mercedes engine, and the new driver lineup on the 29th of January 2010. The season got underway at the opening race in Bahrain, where Lewis got the better of Jenson with a 3rd place finish. Button finished a disappointing 7th, his pit stop helping gain a place over his grid position. However, at the dramatic Australian Grand Prix, the reigning world champion Button came through to win the race with a brilliant strategy after early rainfall. Hamilton had a much worse time, ending up in the gravel trap after an incident with Mark Webber.
And then I got taken out by Mark Webber,
and only managed to recover to 6th position. 2 races later in China, Jenson picked up another win with Lewis finishing 2nd, but this would be Button's last win of the season. Once the Turkish and Canadian races came around, Hamilton finally got the better of Button again, winning both races with his teammate in 2nd. He would also go on to win the Belgian Grand Prix. As we can see from the summaries of their seasons, Hamilton ended up with 240 points to Button's 214, despite having one more retirement over the season. Does this mean that Lewis is a better driver than Jenson? Let's look at the following 2 seasons. In 2011, Button was on fire. Even though he had the same number of wins as Hamilton over the season, his consistency really shone through. Lewis did have one more retirement that season, but Jenson visited the podium 12 times, double the number of his fellow Briton. This is how the points and results stacked up at the end of the season. Button comfortably ahead and 2nd in the championship, Lewis down in 5th. 2012 was the closest year between the pair yet. At the end of the season, there were only 2 points separating them, but Lewis came out on top despite having 5 retirements to Jenson's 2. Let us not forget that small incident with Maldonado at the European Grand Prix. Occurrences like this and other factors that come down to chance make it difficult to directly compare the 2 drivers. But if we combine all the points they won over the 3 seasons they spent in the same car, then these are the results. Button had 672 points and Hamilton was not far behind with 657 points, despite finishing higher than Button in 2 of the 3 seasons. Jenson has often mentioned beating Lewis over 3 seasons in interviews. It is very hard to judge, but it seems that Button challenged Hamilton at a level comparable to that of Rosberg and Alonso. The question of whether Hamilton or Button is the more complete driver is even harder to judge. The now 40-year-old Button described 6-time world champion Hamilton in his autobiography as one of the greats, adding, "Of everybody on the grid, he's the guy who really has that gift." But he says the 35-year-old was unpredictable and he regretted that despite our similarities, we were never really friends. Button also praises Hamilton for really coming on over the past few years. He added, "He's matured, become a bit of a statesman and a great representative of the sport." Thank you for watching. Would you like to see any more driver comparisons? Leave any suggestions in the comments below, and please remember to like, share and subscribe for plenty more racing details to come.